This is Mental Forge, where weakness burns and warriors are built. What separates the 1% from everyone else? Is it luck, connections, better circumstances? The answer will shock you, because it has nothing to do with any of those things. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who remain average lies in one place and one place only: their mind. The way they think, the beliefs they hold, the identity they've forged in the crucible of their consciousness. Right now, as you listen to these words, you stand at a crossroads. You can continue thinking like the 99%, accepting mediocrity as your destiny, or you can make the decision to transform your mind and join the ranks of history's greatest achievers. The choice is yours, but understand this: your current thoughts are creating your current reality. If you want a different reality, you must think different thoughts. Today, you're going to discover the exact mental patterns, beliefs, and principles that separate winners from losers. You'll learn how titans like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Andrew Carnegie programmed their minds for inevitable success. You'll understand why Napoleon Hill spent 25 years studying the world's most successful people and distilled their secrets into principles that still create millionaires today. Most importantly, you'll walk away with the tools to completely rewire your subconscious mind and think like the 1%. This isn't theory. This isn't motivation that fades by tomorrow. This is mental programming that will fundamentally alter who you are and what you're capable of achieving. We're going to explore the deepest secrets of success psychology, the kind that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary winners. If you're ready to upgrade your mind and claim your place among the elite, then you're in exactly the right place. Before we dive into these life-changing principles, I want you to do something for me. If this content resonates with you and you're serious about transforming your life, hit that subscribe button. The principles we're about to explore have created more millionaires and changed more lives than any other collection of ideas in human history. By subscribing, you're not just joining a channel, you're joining a community of winners who refuse to accept anything less than extraordinary. Let's begin with the most fundamental truth about success. Everything you see around you was first created in someone's mind. The device you're using to listen to this, the building you're in, the car you drive, the money in your bank account, it all started as a thought. But here's what most people don't understand. Your current life is also the result of your thoughts. Your current income, your current relationships, your current circumstances, they're all perfect reflections of your current thinking patterns. Henry Ford understood this principle better than almost anyone. When he decided to create the automobile that would revolutionize transportation, everyone told him it was impossible. Engineers said it couldn't be done. Investors said there was no market. Critics said people would never give up their horses. But Ford had something they didn't have: absolute certainty in his mind about what he would accomplish. Ford didn't just hope his vision would work. He didn't wish it might happen. He knew it would happen because he had already built it perfectly in his mind. He could see every detail, feel every sensation, hear every sound of his completed vision. This wasn't daydreaming. This was mental programming of the highest order. Ford was using what Napoleon Hill called definiteness of purpose, the starting point of all achievement. When Ford's engineers told him they couldn't build a V8 engine, he didn't accept their limitation. He told them to keep working on it regardless of how long it took. Month after month, they came back with the same answer: impossible. But Ford's response never changed: keep working. After nearly a year of failed attempts, they finally succeeded. Why? Because Ford's unwavering belief in the possibility created the reality. This is how winners think. They don't accept limitations placed on them by others. They don't allow temporary setbacks to alter their vision. They understand that failure is simply feedback, and persistence is the bridge between dreaming and achieving. Your mind is the most powerful force at your disposal, but only if you learn to use it like Ford did. The difference between winners and losers isn't talent, education, or background. It's the quality of their thoughts and the strength of their beliefs. Winners think in terms of possibilities, while losers think in terms of problems. Winners focus on what they want, while losers focus on what they fear. Winners see opportunities while losers see obstacles. Thomas Edison embodied this winning mindset throughout his incredible career. When he was working on the incandescent light bulb, he didn't fail 10,000 times. He found 10,000 ways that didn't work. This wasn't just positive thinking. This was a fundamental difference in how he processed reality. Edison had programmed his mind to see every setback as progress toward his ultimate goal. Edison understood something profound about the nature of success. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about redefining failure. In his mind, there was no such thing as failure, only results. Some results moved him closer to his goal. Others provided valuable information about what didn't work. This mental framework made him literally unstoppable because every outcome was useful. But Edison's success went deeper than just his attitude toward failure. He had developed what psychologists now call an identity-based approach to achievement. Edison didn't just invent things. He was an inventor. This wasn't what he did, it was who he was. When your identity aligns with your goals, success becomes inevitable because you're not trying to become something different. You're simply expressing who you already are. This is the secret that separates the 1% from everyone else. They don't hope to become successful. They know they are successful, and their external results are simply catching up to their internal reality. They've programmed their subconscious mind with absolute certainty about who they are and what they're capable of achieving. Your subconscious mind is the key to everything. It's the control center that runs your life, determining your habits, your reactions, your beliefs, and ultimately your results. Most people never learn to program their subconscious mind deliberately, so it gets programmed by accident through repetition of negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and fear-based thinking. The 1% understand that the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. This is why visualization is so powerful when done correctly. When you repeatedly imagine yourself achieving your goals with emotional intensity and sensory detail, your subconscious mind accepts this as reality and begins to align your thoughts, behaviors, and opportunities with this new programming. Andrew Carnegie discovered this principle early in his career and used it to become one of the richest men in history. Carnegie didn't come from wealth. He didn't have connections or advantages. What he had was an unshakable belief that he would become wealthy, and he fed this belief daily through mental rehearsal and emotional visualization. Every morning, Carnegie would spend time in his mind seeing himself as already wealthy and successful. He would feel the emotions of achievement, see the details of his success, and hear the sounds of his accomplished life. He wasn't just daydreaming. He was programming his subconscious mind with instructions for success. But Carnegie understood something even more powerful. He knew that belief without action is worthless. His mental programming didn't make him passive. It made him incredibly decisive and action-oriented. When opportunities arose, he could recognize and seize them instantly because his mind was already programmed for success. This is the difference between fantasy and mental programming. Fantasy makes you passive. Mental programming makes you powerful. Fantasy is hoping something might happen. Mental programming is knowing something will happen and taking inspired action to make it reality. The science behind this is fascinating. When you repeatedly think certain thoughts with emotional intensity, you literally rewire your brain. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural pathways. Every time you think a thought, you strengthen the neural pathway associated with that thought. Think it enough times with enough emotion, and it becomes an automatic pattern. This is why most people stay stuck. They've created neural superhighways for limitation, fear, and mediocrity through years of repetitive negative thinking. But the beautiful truth is that you can create new neural pathways for success, abundance, and achievement just as easily. You just need to know how to do it deliberately. The key is repetition with emotion. You can't just think positive thoughts once and expect miracles. You need to feed your mind the right thoughts consistently, with feeling, until they become your natural way of thinking. This is what Napoleon Hill called auto-suggestion, the process of feeding your subconscious mind with definite, specific instructions. Winners understand that their mind is like a garden. Whatever they plant and water will grow. Plant thoughts of success, water them with emotion and repetition, and success becomes inevitable. Plant thoughts of failure, water them with worry and fear, and failure becomes inevitable. The choice is always yours, but you must make it consciously and deliberately. This brings us to one of the most important principles of winner thinking. You become what you think about most of the time. Earl Nightingale called this the strangest secret, and it's the foundation of all achievement. Your dominant thoughts determine your destiny. Not your wishes, not your hopes, not your dreams, but your dominant thoughts. Right now, what are you thinking about most of the time? Are you focused on your goals or your problems? Are you thinking about what you want or what you fear? Are you dwelling on possibilities or limitations? Your honest answer to these questions will predict your future with frightening accuracy. The 1% have learned to control their thoughts instead of being controlled by them. They've developed what psychologists call metacognition, the ability to think about thinking. They monitor their thoughts throughout the day and consciously redirect them toward their desired outcomes. This isn't easy at first. Your mind has been running automatic programs for years, and changing these patterns requires conscious effort and discipline. But here's what makes it worth it. When you learn to control your thoughts, you control your life. When you master your mind, you master your destiny. Before we go deeper into these transformational principles, I want to share something important with you. The concepts we're exploring today have created more wealth, success, and fulfillment than any other collection of ideas in human history. These aren't just theories, they're proven systems that work when you work them. If you're finding value in this content and want more life-changing principles like these, make sure to subscribe. There's so much more where this came from, and I don't want you to miss a single insight that could transform your life. Now, let's talk about one of the most crucial elements of winner thinking: definiteness of purpose. This is the starting point of all achievement, the foundation upon which every success is built. Without definiteness of purpose, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the current takes you. Charles M. Schwab understood this principle intimately. When Andrew Carnegie was looking for someone to run his steel empire, he chose Schwab not because he was the most technically skilled, but because he had the clearest vision and the most definite purpose. Schwab knew exactly what he wanted to accomplish and had the unwavering determination to make it happen. Schwab's definiteness of purpose wasn't just about having goals. It was about having goals that were so clear, so specific, and so emotionally compelling that they pulled him forward like a magnet. He could describe his vision in vivid detail, explain exactly why he wanted to achieve it, and outline the specific steps he would take to make it reality. This is what separates winners from wannabes. Winners have clarity. They know exactly what they want, why they want it, and how they're going to get it. Wannabes have vague wishes and general hopes. They want to be successful, but can't define what success means to them. They want to be rich, but don't know how much money would satisfy them. They want to be happy, but can't describe what happiness looks like in their life. Your mind cannot create what it cannot clearly conceive. If your goals are vague, your results will be vague. If your purpose is unclear, your path will be unclear. But when you develop crystal clear definiteness of purpose, something magical happens. Your subconscious mind begins to work on your behalf, finding opportunities, making connections, and creating circumstances that align with your definite purpose. Napoleon Bonaparte exemplified this principle throughout his remarkable career. When Bonaparte set his sights on conquering Europe, he didn't have vague dreams of military success. He had specific, detailed plans for every campaign, every battle, every strategic objective. His definiteness of purpose was so clear and compelling that it inspired millions of men to follow him into battle. Bonaparte understood that a definite purpose acts like a mental magnet, attracting the resources, people, and opportunities needed for achievement. When your purpose is definite, you develop what Hill called a burning desire, an obsession so intense that failure becomes impossible because you simply won't accept any other outcome. But definiteness of purpose alone isn't enough. You must also develop what winners call applied faith. This isn't blind faith or wishful thinking. Applied faith is absolute confidence in your ability to achieve your definite purpose, backed by persistent action and unwavering determination. Abraham Lincoln demonstrated applied faith throughout his life. When Lincoln decided to become president, he faced seemingly impossible odds. He came from humble beginnings, had limited formal education, and had suffered numerous political defeats. But Lincoln had developed applied faith in his vision for America and his ability to lead the nation. Lincoln's applied faith wasn't based on hoping things would work out. It was based on his unwavering commitment to take whatever action was necessary to achieve his definite purpose. When others saw obstacles, Lincoln saw opportunities. When others felt defeated, Lincoln found new strategies. When others gave up, Lincoln persisted. This is how applied faith works. It doesn't eliminate challenges or guarantee easy success. It gives you the mental strength to persist through difficulties and the wisdom to find solutions when others see only problems. Applied faith makes you unstoppable because you know that every setback is temporary and every failure is education. The development of applied faith requires what Marcus Aurelius called philosophical discipline. You must train your mind to focus on what you can control, while releasing attachment to what you cannot control. You must develop the ability to maintain confidence in your ultimate success, while remaining flexible in your methods. Marcus Aurelius faced challenges that would have broken lesser men. As Emperor of Rome, he dealt with plagues, wars, betrayals, and constant threats to his empire. But Aurelius had developed a mental framework that allowed him to remain calm, focused, and effective regardless of external circumstances. Aurelius understood that your response to events is more important than the events themselves. He knew that you cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control how you think about what happens to you. This mental discipline is the foundation of applied faith and the secret to unshakable confidence. This brings us to another crucial element of winner thinking, the mastermind principle. No one achieves great success alone. Every major achievement in human history has involved coordination of effort between multiple minds working toward a common purpose. Andrew Carnegie understood this principle better than almost anyone. Carnegie surrounded himself with brilliant minds who complemented his own abilities and shared his vision for success. He created what Hill called a mastermind alliance, a group of people who met regularly to coordinate their efforts and share their knowledge. Carnegie's mastermind alliance wasn't just about networking or having advisors. It was about creating a synergistic relationship where the combined intelligence of the group was greater than the sum of its individual parts. When minds work together in harmony toward a definite purpose, they create a third mind that is more powerful than any individual mind alone. The mastermind principle works because it multiplies your mental capacity, expands your perspective, and accelerates your progress. When you align yourself with other success-minded individuals, you gain access to their knowledge, experience, connections, and resources. You also create accountability and motivation that keeps you moving forward, even when you feel like giving up. But here's what most people don't understand about the mastermind principle. It's not just about who you surround yourself with physically, it's also about who you surround yourself with mentally. The books you read, the content you consume, the conversations you have, they all influence your thinking and shape your reality. This is why it's crucial to be selective about what you feed your mind. If you're constantly consuming negative news, gossiping with negative people, or filling your mind with entertainment that doesn't serve your goals, you're programming yourself for mediocrity. But if you feed your mind with the thoughts and ideas of successful people, you begin to think like they think and achieve what they achieve. Benjamin Franklin understood this principle and used it throughout his remarkable life. Franklin didn't just read about successful principles, he studied the greatest minds in history and absorbed their thinking patterns. He read about successful people, studied their methods, and adopted their mental frameworks as his own. Franklin created what he called his 13 virtues, a system for developing the character traits he observed in successful people. He didn't just hope to become virtuous. He systematically programmed these qualities into his subconscious mind through daily practice and repetition. Franklin understood that you become like the people you study most intensely. This is why the books mentioned earlier are so powerful. When you study the principles in Think and Grow Rich, you're not just learning concepts. You're absorbing the thinking patterns of the most successful people in history. When you immerse yourself in the magic of thinking big, you're programming your mind with the same mental frameworks that create extraordinary results. The key is not just to read these books, but to study them, apply them, and make their principles part of your daily mental diet. Winners don't just consume information, they transform information into wisdom through application and repetition. This brings us to one of the most important aspects of winner thinking, the development of specialized knowledge. Successful people don't know everything about everything. They know everything about something. They develop deep expertise in their chosen field and become the go-to person for that particular knowledge. Thomas Edison didn't try to be good at everything. He focused intensely on invention and innovation, developing specialized knowledge that made him irreplaceable. Rockefeller didn't spread his attention across multiple industries. He focused on oil and became the undisputed expert in that field. Specialized knowledge is power because it creates value that others cannot easily replicate. When you become the expert in your field, people seek you out, pay premium prices for your services, and view you as irreplaceable. This is how you move from competing on price to commanding premium value. But specialized knowledge alone isn't enough. You must also develop what Napoleon Hill called imagination, the ability to create new combinations of old ideas. Imagination is the workshop of the mind where you take your specialized knowledge and transform it into practical plans for achievement. There are two types of imagination: synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Synthetic imagination takes existing concepts and combines them in new ways. Creative imagination receives ideas directly from the infinite intelligence of the universe. Both types are crucial for success, but creative imagination is what separates truly great achievers from merely successful ones. Nikola Tesla exemplified creative imagination throughout his career. Tesla didn't just improve existing technologies. He received flashes of inspiration that allowed him to see completely new possibilities. Tesla could visualize his inventions in perfect detail in his mind, test them mentally, and make improvements before ever building a physical prototype. Tesla's creative imagination wasn't just talent. It was a developed skill that he cultivated through specific practices. Tesla would spend hours in quiet contemplation, allowing his mind to wander freely and receive insights from what he called the cosmic consciousness. He understood that breakthrough ideas come not from forcing the mind to work, but from preparing the mind to receive. This is why quiet time and meditation are so important for high achievers. They create the mental space necessary for creative imagination to function. When your mind is constantly busy with distractions and noise, you cannot access the deeper levels of consciousness where breakthrough ideas reside. The development of creative imagination requires what Leonardo da Vinci called curiosity without judgment. You must become intensely curious about your field while remaining open to ideas that seem impossible or impractical. The greatest breakthroughs in history have come from people who were willing to entertain ideas that others dismissed as ridiculous. Leonardo da Vinci embodied this principle throughout his life. Da Vinci wasn't just an artist. He was an inventor, engineer, scientist, and philosopher. His curiosity knew no bounds, and his imagination created possibilities that were centuries ahead of his time. Da Vinci understood that the mind has unlimited creative potential when freed from the constraints of conventional thinking. Da Vinci's notebooks reveal a mind that questioned everything and assumed nothing. He studied anatomy by dissecting corpses, analyzed flight by observing birds, and explored engineering by designing machines that wouldn't be built for hundreds of years. Da Vinci's success came from his willingness to think beyond the boundaries of what was considered possible. This is a crucial lesson for anyone who wants to join the 1%. Extraordinary success requires extraordinary thinking. You cannot achieve exceptional results with ordinary thought patterns. You must be willing to think thoughts that others won't think, question assumptions that others accept without examination, and pursue possibilities that others dismiss as impossible. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful principles for developing winner thinking: the habit of daily self-direction. Winners don't leave their success to chance. They don't hope good things will happen. They create detailed plans for their success and execute those plans with military precision. Every morning, winners engage in what Tony Robbins calls hour of power, a dedicated time for programming their mind for success. This isn't just goal setting or positive thinking. This is systematic mental conditioning that installs success programming at the subconscious level. During this daily self-direction time, winners review their definite purpose, visualize their goals as already achieved, affirm their capabilities and worthiness, study success principles, and plan their actions for the day. They don't just think about success occasionally. They program their mind for success every single day without exception. Theodore Roosevelt exemplified this principle throughout his remarkable life. Roosevelt understood that consistent daily actions create extraordinary results over time. He didn't try to transform his life overnight. He focused on making small improvements every day that compounded into massive achievements over time. Roosevelt's daily routine included physical exercise, intellectual study, goal review, and strategic planning. He treated his personal development like a business, measuring his progress and making adjustments when necessary. Roosevelt understood that success is not an event, it's a process, and the process requires daily attention and discipline. This daily self-direction must include what Bob Proctor called paradigm shifting. Your paradigm is the collection of unconscious beliefs and habits that control your behavior. Most people have paradigms that were programmed in childhood and never consciously updated. These outdated paradigms create invisible barriers that prevent success even when you consciously want to achieve it. Shifting your paradigm requires consistent repetition of new thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors until they become automatic. You must consciously install new programming that supports your goals and systematically eliminate old programming that holds you back. This process takes time and consistency, but it's the only way to create lasting transformation. The most successful people understand that paradigm shifting is not optional. If you want different results, you must develop different beliefs. If you want to think like the 1%, you must program your mind like the 1%. This requires dedication, discipline, and unwavering commitment to your personal development. As we move toward practical application, I want to remind you of something important. The principles we're discussing today have created more millionaires and transformed more lives than any other collection of concepts in human history. These aren't just ideas, they're time-tested systems that work when you work them. If you're serious about transforming your life and joining the ranks of high achievers, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I share life-changing content regularly, and I don't want you to miss a single principle that could accelerate your success. Now, let's focus on immediate actions you can take to begin thinking like a winner. The first action is to develop what Wallace Wattles called the certain way of thinking. This means thinking with absolute certainty about your ability to achieve your goals, regardless of your current circumstances. Wattles understood that uncertainty is the enemy of achievement. When you're uncertain about your goals or your ability to achieve them, you send mixed messages to your subconscious mind. Mixed messages create mixed results. But when you think with certainty, you give your subconscious mind clear instructions that it can follow. Developing certain thinking requires 3 elements: clarity about what you want, conviction that you can achieve it, and commitment to persist until you succeed. These 3 elements create a mental foundation that makes achievement inevitable because your entire being becomes aligned with your desired outcome. The second immediate action is to begin each day with what James Allen called right thinking. Right thinking means directing your thoughts consciously toward your goals instead of allowing them to wander randomly. Most people think whatever thoughts happen to occur to them. Winners think thoughts that serve their purposes. Right thinking requires mental discipline. You must become aware of your thoughts throughout the day and consciously redirect them when they drift toward limitation, fear, or negativity. This isn't about forcing positive thoughts or denying reality. It's about choosing thoughts that empower you and support your goals. The third immediate action is to implement what Joseph Murphy called subconscious programming through repetition. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition, not through logic or reasoning. Whatever you repeat consistently with emotion becomes your automatic pattern of thinking and behaving. Create affirmations that describe your goals as already achieved and repeat them daily with emotional intensity. Visualize your success in vivid detail for at least 20 minutes each day. Study success principles for at least 1 hour each day. These practices program your subconscious mind for achievement and create the mental foundation for extraordinary success. The fourth immediate action is to surround yourself with success influences. Eliminate negative influences from your environment and replace them with positive influences that support your goals. Read books written by successful people. Listen to audio programs that reinforce success principles. Associate with people who share your commitment to achievement. Your environment shapes your thinking more than you realize. If you're surrounded by negative influences, you'll develop negative thinking patterns. But if you surround yourself with positive influences, you'll naturally develop positive thinking patterns. This isn't just about motivation. It's about systematic conditioning of your subconscious mind. The fifth immediate action is to develop what Robert Kiyosaki called financial intelligence. Most people think that money is the root of all evil, or that wealthy people are somehow corrupt. These beliefs create subconscious resistance to wealth and sabotage your efforts to create financial success. Financial intelligence means understanding how money works, how wealth is created, and how successful people think about money. Money is simply a tool that amplifies who you are. If you're a good person with money, you'll do more good. If you're a selfish person with money, you'll be more selfish. Money doesn't change your character, it reveals it. Wealthy people understand that money is created by providing value to others. The more value you create, the more money you can earn. This understanding shifts your focus from trying to get money to trying to serve others. When you focus on service, money becomes a natural byproduct of your efforts. The sixth immediate action is to practice what Thomas Stanley called the millionaire mindset. Stanley studied millionaires for decades and discovered that they think differently about time, money, relationships, and success than average people. They make decisions based on long-term consequences rather than short-term gratification. Millionaires understand that success is a process, not an event. They invest in their education, build valuable relationships, create multiple income streams, and focus on building wealth rather than displaying wealth. They understand that true security comes from developing their abilities, not from depending on employers or government programs. The seventh immediate action is to develop what Charles Haanel called concentrated attention. Success requires the ability to focus intensely on your goals while ignoring distractions. In today's world of constant interruption and information overload, the ability to concentrate is becoming increasingly rare and valuable. Concentrated attention means giving your full mental energy to the most important activities that move you toward your goals. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great opportunities. It means protecting your time and energy like the precious resources they are. Most people scatter their attention across dozens of activities and wonder why they don't achieve exceptional results. Winners concentrate their attention on the few activities that create the most value and achieve extraordinary results through focused effort. The eighth immediate action is to implement what Mahatma Gandhi called truth in thought, word, and deed. Success requires integrity, and integrity requires alignment between what you think, what you say, and what you do. When these three elements are aligned, you develop tremendous personal power and influence. Gandhi understood that authentic power comes from internal alignment, not external force. When your thoughts, words, and actions are congruent, people sense your authenticity and are naturally drawn to you. This creates opportunities, relationships, and resources that accelerate your success. Integrity also creates internal harmony that allows you to access your full potential. When you're authentic, you don't waste energy maintaining false images or remembering lies. All your energy can be directed toward achieving your goals. The ninth immediate action is to practice what Winston Churchill called never giving up. Success requires persistence in the face of obstacles, setbacks, and temporary defeats. Most people give up just before they would have succeeded if they had persisted a little longer. Churchill faced failures and setbacks that would have destroyed lesser men. He was defeated in elections, criticized by peers, and ignored by superiors. But Churchill never gave up on his vision for Britain or his belief in his ability to serve his country. His persistence through decades of setbacks prepared him to lead Britain through its finest hour. Persistence isn't just stubbornness, it's intelligent persistence, the willingness to continue working toward your goals while adjusting your methods based on feedback. It's the understanding that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to success. The 10th immediate action is to develop what Alexander the Great called unlimited ambition. Most people limit their ambitions based on their current circumstances or past experiences. They think small because they've been conditioned to think small. But extraordinary success requires extraordinary ambition. Alexander didn't limit his ambitions to what seemed possible. He imagined conquering the known world and then took action to make his vision reality. Alexander understood that your ambitions determine your actions, and your actions determine your results. Small ambitions create small actions and small results. Unlimited ambitions create unlimited actions and unlimited results. This doesn't mean being unrealistic or ignoring practical considerations. It means thinking beyond conventional limitations and being willing to pursue goals that others consider impossible. History is made by people who refuse to accept limitations placed on them by others. As we bring these principles together, remember that thinking like a winner is not just about achieving external success. It's about becoming the person you were meant to be. It's about developing your full potential and making your unique contribution to the world. The 1% don't just have more money or more possessions. They have more life. They experience more joy, create more value, serve more people, and leave a lasting legacy. They understand that true success is not about what you get. It's about who you become. Every principle we've discussed today is designed to help you become more of who you really are. You have unlimited potential within you right now. You have the ability to achieve anything you truly desire. You have the power to transform your life and create extraordinary results. The question is not whether you can succeed. The question is whether you will choose to think like a winner and take the actions necessary to make success inevitable. The choice is yours, but you must make it consciously and deliberately. Your future is not determined by your past. Your circumstances do not define your potential. Your current results do not predict your future possibilities. You have the power to start fresh right now and create the life you've always dreamed of living. The principles of winner thinking are not complicated, but they do require commitment. They're not difficult to understand, but they do require discipline to implement. They're not mysterious secrets, but they do require consistent application to produce results. Starting today, make the decision to think like a winner. Program your mind for success. Surround yourself with positive influences. Take action toward your goals every single day. Persist through obstacles and setbacks. Never give up on your dreams. You have everything within you right now to join the ranks of the 1%. You have the intelligence, the creativity, the potential, and the power. What you need now is the decision to use what you have and the commitment to develop what you lack. The world needs what you have to offer. There are people waiting for the value you can create, the services you can provide, the leadership you can offer. Don't rob the world of your gifts by thinking small or accepting mediocrity. You were born to be great. You were created to achieve extraordinary things. You have a unique purpose and a special contribution to make. But none of this matters unless you decide to think like a winner and take the actions necessary to claim your greatness. Before we conclude this transformational journey together, I want to challenge you with one final thought. As you implement these life-changing principles and begin to see extraordinary results in your life, remember that success is not just about personal achievement. True winners use their success to serve others and make the world a better place. The greatest satisfaction doesn't come from what you accomplish for yourself, but from what you accomplish for others. The deepest fulfillment doesn't come from what you receive, but from what you give. The most lasting legacy doesn't come from what you accumulate, but from what you contribute. As you develop winner thinking and achieve the success you deserve, use your success to lift others up. Share these principles with people who need them. Become the example that inspires others to pursue their own greatness. Create value that makes a positive difference in the world. This is the ultimate expression of winner thinking, using your success to create more success for others. When you do this, you don't just join the 1% of financial achievers. You join the 1% of human beings who use their lives to make a lasting positive impact on the world. Your journey to extraordinary success begins right now, with your very next thought. Choose to think like a winner. Choose to believe in your unlimited potential. Choose to take action toward your dreams. Choose to persist through challenges. Choose to never give up on yourself. The 1% are waiting for you to join them. Your dreams are waiting for you to pursue them. Your potential is waiting for you to unleash it. Your destiny is waiting for you to claim it. The time is now. The power is within you. The choice is yours. Think like a winner and watch your life transform in ways you never thought possible. Your extraordinary future starts today. If this content has inspired you to think differently about success and achievement, and you want more life-changing principles that can accelerate your journey to the top 1%, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Success is not a spectator sport, and neither is learning the principles that create it. Join our community of winners who are committed to developing their full potential and creating extraordinary results in every area of life. Your future self will thank you for making this decision today. But before you go, let me share with you the most powerful secret of all, the one principle that separates the truly great from everyone else. This is the principle that John D. Rockefeller used to build the Standard Oil empire, that Julius Caesar used to conquer Gaul, and that every person who has achieved lasting greatness has understood and applied. The secret is this: success is not just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process of doing it. Rockefeller didn't just build an oil company. He became a master of systematic thinking and strategic patience. Caesar didn't just win battles. He became a leader who could inspire absolute loyalty and dedication in his followers. When Rockefeller was just a young clerk earning 50 cents a day, he was already thinking like an empire builder. He studied every aspect of the oil business, analyzed every opportunity, and prepared himself for the moment when he could seize his destiny. Rockefeller understood that success leaves clues, and he spent years studying those clues before he ever started his own company. Rockefeller's systematic approach to wealth building was revolutionary for his time. He didn't just hope to become wealthy. He created detailed systems for achieving wealth. He analyzed costs, optimized processes, and eliminated inefficiencies with scientific precision. Rockefeller understood that sustained success requires systems, not just effort. This systematic approach to success is what separates the 1% from everyone else. Average people work hard and hope for the best. Winners create systems that make success inevitable. They don't just set goals. They create processes that guarantee those goals will be achieved. The beauty of systems is that they work regardless of how you feel on any given day. When you have systems in place, your success doesn't depend on motivation, inspiration, or perfect circumstances. Your systems carry you forward even when you don't feel like working, even when obstacles arise, even when others doubt your vision. Julius Caesar understood this principle when he crossed the Rubicon River with his legions. Caesar didn't just make an impulsive decision to march on Rome. He had spent years building the systems, relationships, and resources that would make his bold move successful. When the moment came, Caesar was ready because his systems were in place. Caesar's famous declaration, "The die is cast," wasn't just about taking a risk. It was about the culmination of years of systematic preparation, meeting the perfect moment for action. Caesar had built his reputation, trained his soldiers, secured his finances, and cultivated his political relationships. When he crossed the Rubicon, he wasn't gambling. He was executing a plan that had been years in the making. This is how winners think about risk. They don't take reckless chances or hope for lucky breaks. They systematically reduce risk through preparation, planning, and positioning. By the time winners make their move, what looks like a risk to others is actually a calculated certainty to them. The systematic approach to success requires what psychologists call delayed gratification, the ability to sacrifice immediate pleasure for long-term gain. This is perhaps the most crucial skill for joining the 1%, because everything worthwhile requires patience and persistence over time. In the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, researchers gave children a choice: eat 1 marshmallow now, or wait 15 minutes and get 2 marshmallows. The children who could delay gratification and wait for the larger reward later achieved significantly higher levels of success throughout their lives. This experiment reveals a fundamental truth about success. Your ability to delay gratification determines your ability to achieve long-term goals. Winners understand that every small sacrifice today creates larger rewards tomorrow. They invest when others spend. They study when others play. They work when others rest. Benjamin Franklin exemplified this principle throughout his remarkable life. Franklin could have enjoyed immediate pleasures and lived comfortably as a successful printer. Instead, he invested his time and energy in self-improvement, civic service, and scientific research. Franklin's willingness to delay gratification allowed him to become one of the most accomplished men in human history. Franklin's system for character development is a perfect example of systematic success. Instead of trying to develop all virtues at once, Franklin focused on one virtue at a time for an entire week. He tracked his progress, measured his results, and systematically improved his character through focused attention and consistent effort. This systematic approach to personal development is still used by successful people today. Instead of trying to change everything at once, they focus on one improvement at a time until it becomes automatic. Then they move on to the next improvement. Over time, these small changes compound into extraordinary transformation. The compound effect is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and understanding it is crucial for thinking like a winner. Small actions, repeated consistently over time, create massive results. Small improvements in your daily habits create extraordinary improvements in your life results. Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, saying that those who understand it earn it, and those who don't pay it. This principle applies to much more than money. Your knowledge compounds when you learn something new every day. Your skills compound when you practice consistently. Your relationships compound when you invest in them regularly. Winners understand that success is not about making huge changes overnight. It's about making small improvements consistently over long periods of time. They focus on getting 1% better every day, knowing that these small improvements will compound into extraordinary results over time. This long-term thinking is what separates winners from everyone else. Most people want immediate results and give up when they don't see quick progress. Winners understand that the most valuable things in life take time to develop, and they're willing to be patient while they work persistently toward their goals. Nikola Tesla demonstrated this long-term thinking throughout his career. Tesla would spend months or even years developing a single invention in his mind before ever building a physical prototype. He understood that the time invested in mental preparation would save years of trial and error in physical development. Tesla's approach to invention was systematic and patient. He would visualize his inventions in perfect detail, test them mentally, identify potential problems, and solve those problems before ever building anything physical. This systematic approach allowed Tesla to create inventions that worked perfectly the first time they were built. This mental preparation is crucial for anyone who wants to achieve extraordinary success. Winners spend more time planning than doing because proper planning eliminates most problems before they occur. They understand that 1 hour of planning can save 10 hours of execution. The planning process must include what Stephen Covey called beginning with the end in mind. Before you start working toward any goal, you must have a crystal clear vision of what success looks like when you achieve it. This vision becomes your North Star, guiding every decision and action along the way. Successful people don't just work hard, they work smart. They understand that direction is more important than speed, and they make sure they're moving toward the right destination before they worry about how fast they're traveling. This strategic thinking requires what military leaders call situational awareness, the ability to understand what's happening around you and how it affects your goals. Winners constantly monitor their environment, looking for opportunities and threats that could impact their success. George Washington exemplified this strategic thinking during the Revolutionary War. Washington understood that he didn't need to win every battle to win the war. He needed to avoid losing the war while gradually building the strength needed for ultimate victory. Washington's patient, strategic approach ultimately defeated the most powerful military force in the world. Washington's success came from his ability to think beyond the immediate situation and focus on long-term objectives. While others were focused on winning individual battles, Washington was focused on winning the war. This strategic perspective allowed him to make tactical sacrifices that served his larger purpose. This ability to sacrifice short-term gains for long-term success is perhaps the most important skill for thinking like a winner. It requires tremendous mental discipline and emotional maturity, but it's the foundation of all lasting achievement. The development of this long-term perspective requires what philosophers call wisdom, the ability to see beyond surface appearances and understand deeper truths. Wisdom comes from experience, study, and reflection. It cannot be rushed or shortcuts, but it can be systematically developed over time. Wisdom allows you to see opportunities that others miss, avoid mistakes that others make, and create value that others cannot duplicate. Wisdom is the ultimate competitive advantage because it cannot be copied or stolen. It must be earned through patient development over many years. The accumulation of wisdom requires what Socrates called intellectual humility, the understanding that the more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. This humility keeps you open to new ideas and prevents the arrogance that destroys so many promising careers. Intellectual humility doesn't mean lacking confidence. It means being confident enough to admit when you're wrong and wise enough to learn from every experience. Winners understand that every setback contains valuable lessons, and they extract those lessons to avoid similar problems in the future. This learning orientation is what allows winners to continuously improve while others stagnate. Winners view every experience as education, every mistake as tuition, and every challenge as curriculum. They understand that life is school, and graduation never comes. The commitment to lifelong learning requires what psychologists call a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. People with a growth mindset embrace challenges, persist through obstacles, learn from criticism, and find inspiration in others' success. People with a fixed mindset believe their abilities are static and cannot be significantly developed. They avoid challenges that might reveal their limitations, give up quickly when faced with obstacles, ignore useful criticism, and feel threatened by others' success. The difference between these two mindsets determines the difference between success and failure in virtually every area of life. Winners develop a growth mindset and continuously expand their capabilities. Losers maintain a fixed mindset and limit themselves to their current abilities. Developing a growth mindset requires consistent effort and conscious attention. You must challenge yourself regularly, seek feedback actively, and view failures as opportunities to learn rather than evidence of inadequacy. This mental shift transforms obstacles into stepping stones and setbacks into comebacks. The growth mindset also requires what psychologists call grit, the combination of passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Grit is the ability to maintain effort and interest despite failures, adversity, and plateaus in progress. Grit is what allows winners to persist when others quit. Research has shown that grit is a better predictor of success than talent, intelligence, or any other single factor. This is encouraging news because while you cannot control your natural talent or intelligence, you can develop your grit through conscious effort and practice. Developing grit requires finding your purpose, the deeper meaning that makes your goals worth pursuing despite obstacles and setbacks. When your goals are connected to a purpose larger than yourself, you develop the emotional strength needed to persist through difficulties. Your purpose becomes the fuel that powers your persistence. Without purpose, motivation fades when obstacles arise. With purpose, obstacles become opportunities to demonstrate your commitment and strengthen your resolve. Finding your purpose requires deep self-reflection and honest assessment of your values, passions, and strengths. Your purpose is usually found at the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. When you align your work with your purpose, you don't just have a job or even a career, you have a calling. This calling provides the energy and motivation needed to achieve extraordinary results while serving others and making a positive difference in the world. This service orientation is the final piece of the winner's mindset. True winners understand that the greatest success comes from serving others and creating value that makes a positive difference in the world. When your success serves a purpose larger than yourself, you develop unlimited motivation and lasting satisfaction. The service mindset transforms work from drudgery into joy, challenges into opportunities, and setbacks into stepping stones. When you focus on serving others, success becomes a natural byproduct of your efforts rather than the primary goal. This is the ultimate secret of thinking like a winner. Success is not about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you need to be to serve others at the highest level. When you focus on service, success follows naturally. When you focus on success alone, both service and success remain elusive. Your journey to thinking like a winner begins with a single decision: the decision to become the person capable of achieving your dreams. This decision must be followed by consistent action, systematic improvement, and unwavering commitment to your growth and development. The path is not easy, but it is simple. Study the principles that create success. Apply those principles consistently in your daily life. Persist through obstacles and setbacks. Never give up on your dreams. Serve others through your success. When you commit to this path and follow it with determination, you don't just join the 1% of financial achievers. You join the 1% of human beings who develop their full potential and use their success to make the world a better place. The choice is yours. The power is within you. The time is now. Think like a winner and transform not just your own life, but the lives of everyone you touch along the way. Champions, your mind has been forged a little stronger today, but the real test isn't what you learned, it's what you do with it. Take action, dominate your day, and remember, we're not just building better thoughts, we're forging unstoppable lives. The forge doesn't stop, and neither do you. If this episode hit you where it counts, subscribe to Mental Forge Academy and join the Brotherhood of Champions who refuse to settle for ordinary. Go transform, strike while the mind is hot.